You know, a question I get all, yeah, you ready? You know, a question I get all the time is, how do I choose the right lure color? Well, that's a really broad question. There's lots of answers to that, but let me give you a few tips on how to help refine that down a little bit. And here's how I start off every day that I fish and every lake that I fish. First, I find out, what are the fish feeding on? Are the fish feeding on shad, or are they feeding on bluegill and crayfish? That's the very first thing I figure out, because if they're feeding on shad, then I'm gonna fish with baits that imitate a shad. Your white baits, like your white buzz baits, your white swim baits, your white crawdads, your white swimming jigs, your white colored crankbaits, anything shad pattern. That's a very simple way to figure that out, right? Now, if they're feeding on bluegill and crayfish, you know, a lot of times in the spring when these fish are up shallow feeding on bluegill and crayfish, I'm gonna fish with more of my natural colors, your watermelons, your green pumpkins, your black and blues, you know, like you have here, this little bruiser black and blue, crazy crawl. That's actually green pumpkin and blue. It's a really cool color. You know, your chatterbaits imitates, that color right there imitates a bluegill. You know, I'm gonna stay away from those white colors. So that's really how I base it a lot of times. And then the next thing you wanna do is figure out water clarity. Real simple. If it's real clear, crystal clear water like we have here behind us, I'm gonna fish with more natural colors. More natural colors. If I'm fishing for shad, I'm gonna fish more translucents. I might not throw a straight white spinner bait. I might throw one of those translucent type skirts, you know, the kind of the see-through whites. If it has a little color in the water, then I'm gonna throw your straight whites. If it's muddy, I'm gonna go to your darker colors, your black and blues. But again, water clarity, if it's darker, go with darker baits. If it's clean and clear, go with lighter colored baits. So that's basically how I choose what color baits to fish with.